How we doing, everybody? We are here for another film review, and that is Bad Times at the El Royale. And it has some pretty bad times in there. Yeah. Um, the title is kind of strange. To say Bad Times, I'm just say the El Royale, but yeah, the extra words in there to describe the plot of the film, I guess. Although we really, as an audience members, we have no idea about what the plot of the film really is going in based on the trailer. And this film was written, directed, and produced by Drew Goddard. And he obviously has a connection with Joss Whedon, because if you look at his writing credits, etc., it was Angel and Buffy were his first things, and then he directed Cabin in the Woods. But most of his career is producing. So he produces The Good Place, he executive produced Daredevil, things to that effect. So so for me when I saw, he also wrote and The Martian. So when I saw wrote, directed, produced, as a writer producer myself, I can tell you that most of the times when people have no support system where they are completely in control of everything, the film suffers, because film is like a government. So yes, you have your president and things to that effect, but you and your Senate and your Congress, they kind of put roadblocks in on purpose, so one guy isn't running the whole show. And that is because sometimes ideas are a little bit too far out there and there's nobody to rein them back in. So when I see someone who is a total control freak, which is what, if you're writing, directing, and producing the whole thing yourself, that means you trust nobody else to do any of their jobs. And you're saying this is how it's going to be, period. And you end up with episodes 1, 2, and 3 from Star Wars. Because nobody could tell Lucas no. So with that being said, so this film stars Jeff Bridges and Dakota Johnson, Chris Hemsworth, and who else is in it? Cynthia Erivo, if I say that correctly, and of course John Hamm. So I've got to. With that being said, that obviously this guy's some kind of a control freak, or that he wanted complete autonomy over this for whatever odd reason. The film was pretty decent. Okay, I did not have any major problems with it. So he's obviously been thinking about this for a long time, and has had opinions from other people. Because if he didn't, it probably would have come out a little more shaky. But the problem with the film was, because the film has a very Tarantino type of feel, where each character is introduced and that point of view is taken on. And then, of course, we have the flashbacks so it's very, very stratified. Oh, here we have this person, so we have to have a flashback of them. And in some cases, it's jarring because it takes you away from the film. The film, on a positive note, the acting was phenomenal. Okay, they did a really good job of embracing their characters, and really taking on something different than what they normally play. In fact, I was so happy that Jeff Bridges didn't do his mumbling thing that he normally does now when he's playing like a Western person, a person in a Western, like an R.I.P.D. He does that a lot, where he goes, earn your. And I'm like, oh, man, just take whatever is in your mouth, take it out of it. But here he was back to being Jeff Bridges, and it was not lost on me that that if you saw the trailer, you see that he starts out as a priest, and they actually reveal in the trailer that he's not a priest. But it says his name is Father Flynn, and if you are a Tron fan, which apparently Mr. Goddard is, he's a Tron fan, and he named his character knowing that Jeff Bridges was going to play it after Tron. So, but anyway, if you didn't catch that, that's the reason. I don't know that for a fact, but if it isn't, then it's just a really hunky coincidence. John Hamm does a great job. He actually plays kind of two different roles in there. Chris Hemsworth does a completely different thing than he does with Thor. It's again, I'm not going to give anything away until we do the spoilers. But I can tell you this, that it's very contained. Okay, so it's only got a few cast members in it, and that's it. There's only one scene that has a large amount of extras. The beginning was a little strange because it feels like the first scene feels like a stage play. I mean, the camera doesn't move, and it's just pretty much static on the entire scene, and it feels like a stage play. But as the film goes on, it opens up more and more. Definitely as you go into the flashbacks, and then at the end, I can tell you that you're about to go. As you know, it's kind of an actiony thing. It's not really actiony, but it's got a couple of action scenes in it. But they're about to go into this big action scene, and they break for a flashback. And I'm just like, I actually groaned in the theater going, oh, come on. This is completely the wrong time for a flashback. I mean, I understand story-wise you kind of needed it, and when you see it, you'll know exactly what I mean. But it was completely in the wrong place. But I know that they couldn't really reveal. I don't know. There had to be a different place for them to put this flashback in. But where it was just completely removed you from the film. And again, when you see it, you can let me know what you think. But I like how it's a very slow burn movie. So if you're looking for a fast paced type of thing, this is not it. It reminded me a little bit of The Hateful Eight. So if you saw Hateful Eight, it kind of reminded me of that. Where you kind of start with a couple of characters, and then it kind of augments. But it's still self-contained, where it takes place. Obviously, from the name that it takes place completely in the hotel. But yeah, I guess The Hateful Eight is a really good correlation to what this film is. And Pulp Fiction. It's definitely got a Pulp Fiction feel. And the film, the other Tarantino film where they had Mr. Orange and all that. It reminds me of that too, because it starts out certain sections with the characters' names. Well, not the characters' names. It starts out with their room numbers, which I thought was interesting. But anyways, they're definitely a slow burn movie. You have to like this kind of film to like the film. If you're kind of put off by that very stratified type of storytelling, where it's okay, this happened, and now we're going to tell exactly the same scene again from a different point of view, and then we're going to move on with a flashback to tell you about this person's story and why he's reacting the way he is, and that kind of thing. So anyway, if I was going to rate the film, I'd rate it a 7. It's above average. Is it a great film? Nah, it's not really a great film. It's a good film. It's entertaining while you're sitting there, and the twists and turns keep you kind of watching and interested in where the story's going, and which characters are going to do what and with who and all that stuff. So It's definitely that type of film. So is it worth seeing? Yeah, it's worth seeing. But it's only if you're into those kind of films that I kind of mentioned. So anyway, bad times at the El Royale, and I'm going to go do some spoilers as well, so we can kind of talk about the story. Okay, talk to you soon, and have a great weekend. And thanks for watching and subscribe.